Welcome to another episode of the Walk the Line podcast. I'll be your host, Greg Sowers. I want to thank everyone for joining me for episode 23 of the Walk the Line podcast. Today's topic will be team building, the importance, how to do it, if you should do it, and all things associated with team building. So just want to start with, what do we think about, what team building is? And I mean, you do it with athletics. Your company probably does it at work. You guys, whether you know it or not, you're doing it at school with your class. And it's just a way for, people trying to achieve the same goal to get closer and work better together. I have team building with my youth teams. I have team building with my high school teams. I did team building, I would say, with most of my teams growing up and in college. And it also doesn't have to be structured team building. You don't have to, have a calendar event or, hey, we're going to go work on team building. A lot of the best kind of team buildings are the things that, happen naturally. And I just think it's so important, especially early on in the year, for your team to get together, for all the players to get together, and even parents at the younger age levels to get together and, one, just get to know each other. Where are you from? Who's your kid? Where'd you guys play last year? Things like that. Because the bond that you guys can create can, obviously last the whole season, and beyond that, to create some great relationships and uh, friends down the line. But again, especially at the beginning of the year, I try to get our teams to do a structured team building event. For example, with our high school guys, our season's about to start. What we did, we just we went to the lab out in Franklin. We had all the guys on the ice, and we just went through an hour of practice drills, played a 3-on-3 scrimmage at the end. So that was the first time we were actually all officially on the ice together. And then following that hour of ice time, it took 15 minutes to get undressed and get their things ready for off ice. We did an hour of off ice, and we just did three rounds of 8 exercises. They're with a partner. Well, one partner's going, the other guy's resting, and we switched throughout those exercises. But I think it's important at the end of the workout, we probably worked out for 30, 40 minutes. We did 20 minutes of a game. We just went outside, and essentially we did a version of ultimate frisbee. Again, it's not structured. I mean, we had rules for the game, but just did the shirts versus skins deal and let the kids play. They probably kept score. I wasn't. But essentially it was just, we had a football. We had 2 end zones. Guy had to throw the ball. If your team caught it, you got 3 steps, and you had to throw it to somebody else. And if it was a turnover, or if it was a drop pass or an incomplete pass, it was a turnover. Ball's going the other way with the other team. And as stupid and silly as it may seem, those 20 minutes, some of those guys have never talked to each other, and you're forced to learn the guy's name. You're calling for the ball. You're forced to, be competitive, whether, because it's just again, silly little game, but, it's the first time they're being competitive against an opponent, that be their own teammates, but, put them in that environment to essentially force them to get to know each other. In years past, we've done a kayak trip with the high schoolers. We've done, obviously a team dinner or parties or things like that. But, I highly encourage, if your coach does suggest a team building event, that you do get out there, one, for the players to get to know each other. But obviously, while the players are all together, all the parents are in the rink or outside and talking to each other as well. So you're developing that camaraderie early on in the season, and coming closer together in that sense. With my youth players, again, usually do a team gathering. With my Bantams this year, we're going to a venue, 2 weeks before the season starts, just to get everybody together. Again, the kids are going to run around, do their thing, and parents and coaches will do their thing and have conversations. And, again, just starting the team building, before the season even starts. One game I do like to play with the high schoolers and the younger kids Essentially, I picked this up from the Elite Edge Showcase because it's something I enjoyed and I thought was fun. You got about 16 cones, 4 rows of four, and you are the only person who knows the path you have to take to get to the other side of those cones. So you can go, obviously take a step at the first cone, you can go straight up, left or right, but you can't go on the same cone twice. And the object of the game is to get across to the other side of the cones before or as quick as you can. And if you pick the wrong cone, your turn's over. The next guy has to start again at the beginning to get through those 4 cones. And what that does is, one, it makes everybody pay attention. So if the guy's going, 5 guys in front of you and you're not paying attention to what his first step is or what his third step is, well, when it's your turn, you're not going to know what to do. Um, and usually I'll play this game. The first time we play it, I won't let them talk. So they really have to pay attention. And then the second time they play it, they're allowed to talk and tell each other where to go. I've had guys get through it pretty quickly, and I've had guys take a long time. And it just, obviously, again, it's just a fun, little activity they can do to. I mean, again, it's silly, but to support each other and help each other out to accomplish a goal of getting to the other side of the map there. So just a couple different ideas for team building, and then also I try schedules depending and things like that. But I talked about something or team building events being structured and unstructured. The ones I mentioned already are pretty much fall into that structured category. But at the beginning of the season, I try to, with our youth teams, to go to an out of town tournament purely because, one, the kids are going to have fun playing in a different rink. It's early in the season, but we're all in the same hotel together. And for those of you who have played a competitive sport or traveled for an athletic event, the games you get to play are fun, but the times at the hotel are the ones you usually remember more. And all the kids are in the hotel running around playing knee hockey, trying not to get in trouble. And again, it's not that's not something that's structured. We don't tell them, you have to be doing this at 7 p.m. and this at 8 p.m. But generally the kids will gather themselves together and again go play a game outside or go watch a movie, go to the pool. Um, you know, all those little things can really build your team up and make you guys stronger, for your upcoming season. And again, it's not just the kids in the hotel. Parents are in the lobby having a few waters and, again, just getting to know each other and getting a good start to the season. Um, and, there's a lot of positives to this team building aspect. I mean, you're at practice, obviously, there's team building involved with that. You're working on your skill, you're working on systems. Um, but, if you generally care about the guy, sitting next to you in the locker room or the guy on your line or, the guy in net, you're going to do those extra little things to help your teammates be successful. You're going to block that shot. You're going to back check that guy who might get a breakaway. Um, and if you have that sense of, team and sense of camaraderie, it's only going to help on the ice. And those bonds are so important to form early on in the year. Because if you're trying to do it's Christmas and you're trying to team build halfway through the season, and you may have one kid who doesn't know another kid's name. Um, it's crazy, but it happens, especially with the high school teams where we have 25 to 28 kids on a roster, um, and some kids can't make practice. The getting the team together just to you know be kids and be players and enjoy being 13 and 14 and for the high school guys 14 to 18, it's something that can really elevate your team to the next level. um, and again, the you hear guys who win championships and from even youth hockey all the way up to the NHL, um, their post game speeches or post game press conferences or we battled for each other. I love those guys in the locker room. You're it's very rare you're going to get along with everybody, but you can still care and support about your or support your teammates. um, and together you guys can achieve those goals. Um, the what is it, the saying that the chain's only as strong as your weakest link, right? So if you have somebody pulling the rope in the opposite direction, or a couple guys pulling the rope in one direction, a couple guys pulling the rope in the other direction, it makes it a lot harder for your team to achieve whatever the goal may be. um, and it could be as simple as, guys not paying attention in drills. If you have that close team, the teammate could you could comfortably go up to a teammate and say, "Hey, I don't get what the hell is coach talking about? Help me." And a good close teammate would obviously help out that teammate who's struggling with that drill. So all that to say, team building events can be looked at as, do I really have to go? And why is this important? I just want to play hockey. Well, it's very important, from a camaraderie standpoint, from a support standpoint, from uh, you know, being willing to battle for each other, and it's fun. Hockey's meant to be fun, and it's some of the best memories that I have playing, are those times in hotels, or the times away from the rink, times in the locker room before we get on the ice. And a lot of the guys in the professional leagues are doing the same thing. I mean, they can go to a bar obviously and have a good time that way, but you watch these NHL teams in training camps, and they're going to like rock climbing and going on these hikes, and um, the Flyers used to do the trial on the aisle, and they run a 5K together. Like, these things have nothing to do with hockey, but just building a team. And there's a reason why athletes do it, and it's done at work too. Whether that's work lunches, or uh, work events, happy hours, things like that. Unfortunately, as you get older, a lot of these things involve alcohol, but team building is extremely important, and I hope this episode helped explain some of that. So if you have a team building event, strongly encourage that you get out to that with your team, enjoy your teammates, parents, get to know the other parents, because you're going to be with them for the next 6, 7 months. And again, you don't have to like everybody, but you can all be on the same team and push for each other and fight for each other, to accomplish that same goal. So I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Looking forward to our next one. We got an MTSU preview coming up. But I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their week, and we'll talk to you soon.